So with that, I want to go to the last rule, which ties a lot into what you were saying when you had to get on stage and you had the butterflies happening and like that emotional state trigger. So a lot of people, once you've identified what your projected identity, what you want to be as an identity, but when those moments arise, it's almost like, oh, but I need to be happy, or I need to be in this state where like everything is going well before I take action on that particular opportunity. What do you tell to people who feel like, hey, my state needs to be perfect for me to take any action?
That's a very interesting one, and it's a very common rule. I had this for a long time. In all honesty, I still have it. It still happens to me. I'm sure it happens to you sometimes. Yep. We are just humans. By the way, that's another thing. No one is perfect, and we got to understand that. When you are trying to be always perfect, you put so much pressure on yourself that you feel paralyzed. You can't take any action. So you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And I still face those limitations where I want to do something, and I say to myself, I'm not inspired. I got to wait for the inspiration. Now, I'm going to do it later when I'm in the state. But it's not about waiting for the inspiration. It's about making the inspiration, triggering the inspiration, right? You ever had a situation where back at school, because people watching this are different ages, probably anything between 18 and whatever, 85. So all of you can relate to this. Any of you had a situation back in the day when you were at school and you had this big essay to write, you don't feel like doing it, and you don't feel like doing it, and then you have no choice. You gotta sit down because it's due tomorrow and you have to submit it. You sit down, you start writing, you don't feel it, but something weird happens. After half an hour, maybe 1 hour, you start getting into it, and then you get into the flow. And 2-3 hours later, you don't care about anything else, you're in the zone. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi talks about flow. He wrote a great book about this. You get into the flow and nothing else matters. You are just in the zone. So way too many of us try to trigger that inspiration and try to trigger the right state rather than acting and then through action making that state happen. So that's what I believe, and I believe that people try to run away from fears often, and they feel like in order to do something, they should get rid of the fear first. But as I said at the very beginning, being courageous is not about not feeling fear. Fear is there to help you. It's about managing your fear. It's about making your fear your friend, not your enemy, right? It's like with Aikido, any other martial arts. If you fight with a bigger guy and he wants to push you and wants to punch you, if you want to do the same to him, guess what? You're clashing energies. There is no way you're going to win. The guy is 120 kilograms. I'm 80 something. I'm not going to win. What can I do? Well, I can use his energy instead, and as he's trying to push me or hit me, I can pull him and use that energy. So when you feel certain fears in your life, the first step is not to run away from them and not acknowledge them. No, you acknowledge what's happening. You take a few deep breaths and you realize, okay, I'm afraid. That's fine. Everyone would be afraid. What am I feeling? My heart is beating faster. Cool, it's pumping more blood so I get more oxygen, so I'm getting ready. I have this focus. I focus on everything. Cool. My eyes are getting ready for the war. You know, you feel all of those physiological reactions and you acknowledge that they are totally normal, and you turn those reactions into excitement, right? So again, it's not about feeling perfect. It's about trying to feel great about whatever it is that's happening to you, essentially.
So in essence,